What happens if you go to your Goodwill 3 times in one day? You're about to find out. Hey, in the morning, everyone. It's Kevin from Real Boring Flips, and it was an interesting day today. I went to my local Goodwill 3 times just to see what would happen, and it turned out pretty good, so let's talk about that. I do have some stuff from an earlier trip to Goodwill that I want to show you, and some retail arbitrage that we'll cover as some of my recent thrifting finds. But before we do that, I want to show you what I'm enjoying. It's past Halloween, but I have a whole case of Elysian this is Pumpkachino Coffee Pumpkin Ale. I have a whole case of this, so I'm going to get tired of it. Hopefully you're not going to get tired of it either. Very meaty. And you can taste the pumpkin. That's an acquired taste. So as I mentioned, I went to Goodwill 3 times today just to see what would happen. I had a couple of things to do in the middle of the day, so I took half a day off. I hit Goodwill right about half hour after they opened, and then I came back about an hour and a half later, hit them again, and then went to the store next door where I normally get my drinks for the show, the grocery outlet, gross out store. And then I came back to Goodwill about 15 minutes later just to see what was going to happen. Now, this wasn't the only thrifting I'm going to show you. I did have some thrifting from a few days earlier, so let's talk about that. And we also had some retail arbitrage. Actually, I'll cover that first since it's sitting here. So my wife went to Ross, and she came home with this set of Marvel, it's 3 kids' costumes, Marvel costumes, and it's kind of a neat little box of this stuff. She paid $10. I'll show you the comps. I've got mine listed for lower than any of the solds, but because I imagine a bunch of these are probably out there now. But that's fine. I'll just leave this out there, and eventually it'll sell. If not, we've got plenty of kids that we know that would love these next year for Halloween. So goodbye either way. If I sell it for 30 bucks, make 20 bucks, that's fine. But kind of a fun, we don't do retail arbitrage all that often, but my wife's always looking for stuff for me to sell, and she actually came home and said, "Here's something to sell." Now, she's the type who would rather just give stuff away to people, so I have to kind of help her understand the whole point of doing this business. So the other stuff that I got, actually a little bit of a menagerie here, but it starts with a few board games. I've been really into board games lately and doing well on selling those board games. So I've really been focusing on that section. And I think I mentioned before, I look for odd versions of board games. So this is Super Scrabble, and it's actually a nice version. I mean, I wouldn't mind keeping this, except the comps are crazy. I paid $6 for this. It's really nice condition. I don't even think it's been used. The score pad's never been written on. I mean, you don't normally, you'd see like writing through to the next sheet. I don't believe this was ever written on. I counted all the tiles. They're all there. Everything's complete. I'll show you the comps. Crazy that this game sells for that much. But I'm actually I've got my draft ready. I'm going to get this listed. Hopefully this sells quick. I should have no problem getting, what I'm after. Really cool find for $6. Yeah, $6. So this next game, I really, the comps didn't tell me to buy this, but I just love this stuff. I've always wanted a Simpsons chess set, and I paid $6 for this one as well. It's in the tin, it's got the instructions, all the pieces are in here. Probably the only issue is the board has a little bit of a, not a crease, but just some wear to it, I think from folding. But the tin's nice, the pieces are nice. For $6, I should have no problem getting 2 or 3 times my investment on this if I sell it. I love the Simpsons stuff. So this last board game was a toss-up. Very hard to comp this. Can you tell me why this is very hard to comp? You type in vintage board game, what are you going to get? So I did find this game by searching Mesa Board Games, Vintage, Gil Diore, who must be the creator. It's really in great shape. It's basically a strategy game for, I'll tell you what that is in a minute. It's really a strategy game about wine making, which we're really interested in. We are members of a lot of wineries in the area, so this might become just a game we play, but I paid $10 for it. The comps are really difficult because it doesn't show up on the barcode necessarily, and it's really hard to search for. But I will show you some of what I do find. I think there was a couple for sales. I don't remember if I found any solds, but it is a cool game, and so I grabbed it anyway, even though it didn't meet my criteria on sell-through rate. I got a couple of electronics as well. I look through the mice all the time. You've seen my Razer Naga mice that I've been selling. I've never seen one of these. It's a Microsoft cordless mouse. Really nice feel to it as well. I use Macs, and I don't even know if this will recognize it's Bluetooth. But I'll have to figure out how to actually pair this. But I do have some Windows computers. I don't know if it's Windows 11 or if it works with Windows 10 or if that matters. But it's really nice condition. I paid $7. I'll show you the comps that I found. I actually just bought it without even comping it. I knew it was going to be worth either keeping. One of my family members would use it. So that was that. The other thing that I grabbed, I've been looking for a new microphone. I want to have a microphone set up on my desk for when I do on-screen videos. And I'm considering getting a Rode microphone, and I found this mount for it and pop screen. I could still sell this. I paid $8 for this. I could probably get $25 for this itself if I decide not to get this microphone, because you have to get one that will mount here. I actually have a really nice Shure microphone, but it doesn't fit this. It's got a special mount, very similar to this, but just special. I really would like to use that microphone because it's really nice. So I may just sell this and get the mount for that microphone. But I saw Rode, and I've been searching for Rode microphones recently, so I knew it was worth grabbing at $8. And then the last thing I grabbed the other day was this Cobra CB radio, and I paid $20 for it. It's got a nice Cobra mic, got the mount, got the power lead. I'm going to hook this up to power just to make sure it does power. And then I've got an antenna back here, CB antenna, that I will connect. And who knows, maybe I'll hear something. But I also have a base station CB sitting down here that I'm going to power up so that I can maybe communicate, just test the transmit and receive. But I love this stuff. I sell CBs. I've sold several CBs, but always new in the box ones. So this will be first to sell a used one. But the Cobras, and this isn't the high-end one. I've got a couple of the really valuable ones that I have yet to sell. But when I get this one tested and get this base station set up, I'll just test all the CBs I have, get those listed. So that was a great thrifting day the other day. And then today I went in, and because I had the opportunity, I knew I was going to be able to go several times. I didn't know it was going to be 3, but I definitely wanted to go multiple times today just to see what would happen. And the other thing is, so Monday is $1.99 day for whatever color. That day is usually terrible. Wednesday is senior day. That day is terrible. Today is 30% off some color. I think it was pink today. So that, you know, Thursday would be the best day for me to go and try this. Less likely to be full of people. So my first trip in was about a half hour after they opened. And I didn't have much time, but I knew I had enough time to at least scout out. And there was a lot of people. There actually was a lot of resellers. I saw a lot of people with their phones out, you know, scanning stuff or searching stuff up. But I made my rounds, just kind of eyeballing things. Did not buy anything. Didn't actually see anything really that was worth picking up. And so I left, went and did my things, came back about an hour and a half later, and felt like there was less people and more stuff. So I came in, I grabbed a few things, actually put those back, but one of the first things I grabbed was this bag of Playmobil figures, and some of them, they look like they might be vintage. This horse looks vintage. There's some keychain figures in here. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but lots of figures, lots of pieces, and I have a lot of, my kids have a lot of Playmobil stuff that was theirs that we're keeping. So I felt like this was probably a good buy at $15. So I look for nice big bags of the same stuff, and I've done well recently with bagged toys. So that was a good grab. I went over to the electronics, and this is probably the thing I wouldn't have bought if I really maybe had to put something back. This is the put back, but this is a Turtle Beach Ear Force 7 series, the console and the controller, and this goes to like your video game system, and it has and then controls your headset. I paid $7 for it. I really don't know if I'm going to get that out of it. I could return this and just get my money back, but I'm going to do a little more research on that. Maybe I'll be able to put some stuff on the screen there, but I really didn't find anything. It did meet my Venn diagram of cool looking, well made, and it's got some heft to it. So it met my criteria if you don't know anything else. And for $7, it's not a bad buy as far as that goes. So let's see, the next, after I grabbed that, I found a lady had brought out a new bin of stuff, electronic stuff. And so I looked in the bin, actually grabbed a camera out of there and ended up putting it back. But I did see bows, and so made me take a look. Now, these speakers are used. When I first grabbed them, I thought they were unused because they're actually wrapped up like they would have been. I mean, they're even sealed. But I'm pretty sure these were all used, but so clean. Now, these are the Acoustimass dual cube speakers, and I have an Acoustimass single cube system over here. And then I have in the house, in our theater room, I have the mini dual cube Acoustimass system. This is the center speaker. So this used will sell for about $50. It looks like $45, $50. I paid $10 for this speaker, and then each of these 4 dual cube speakers I paid $12.99, so $13 a piece. But like I said, they're wrapped up. They probably were used just because I can tell that one was used, but so clean. I mean, you wouldn't even, I could probably sell these new other because they look new and they're in the packaging. If I don't see any marks on any of these, that's probably what I'll do. But these also go for about 50 to 6. Well, new they would go even more, but in this condition, $50 should be no problem. And I have a bunch of these actually used that have considerable wear that I'm just going to keep. But these ones are so nice. I'll definitely be able to flip. And the other nice thing about this is there's 4 of them, one listing, quantity 4. But what I could also do, and I'll check the comps to see if this makes sense, because this is a set for that system, is just put these all together for a price. I think I did see a set of these that it must have been an outlier. It was like $200 for this set of 5 speakers. So who knows, but we'll see on that. So that was, let's see, make sure that was, or no, actually this was the last thing I grabbed. This, now this is a Warring Pro Juicerator, juicer, I think it's JEX 450. And I actually saw this in the store earlier. I have been buying a lot of juicers and then I part them out. And I typically get them on Mondays at $1.99 day if I can get there when they open, depending on my work schedule. So in this case, this one was $25. I wasn't about to pay $25 for it, and I didn't think it would last to $1.99 day, but today was 30% off. So at least got it for about $8 off. So, or yeah, about $8 off. So the nice thing about it is it doesn't even look used. I took it apart in the store and it's so clean. There's no, like, normally you see some wear on the blade, some staining, nothing like that. So I don't even think this was ever used. This is a really nice model. I'm tempted to keep it because I do have some other Warring Pro stuff that it would fit with. But, you know, we don't use a juicer all that much. So I'll show you the comps. Really nice comps on this in this condition. So for my $16 or whatever I paid, that'll be a good turn. So that was trip number 2, the first time I bought something today. So then I went next door to the grocery store and got a few things, came back about 15 minutes later, came into the store, and I thought, what's changed in 15 minutes? Well, I immediately saw this. Now this is, gosh, I wish I had the, I'll tell you the actual title here. But what's funny about this is my son, when he was little, got one of these. We bought it for Christmas. He wanted it, saw the commercials.
Spike the dinosaur. Only you can control Spike the dinosaur. Spike the Ultra Dinosaur comes with remote control, rechargeable battery, other batteries and dinos not included.
And he was probably 5 or 6 years old. He just turned 21 last week. But he got this, played with it, and then he decided at our garage sale, he decided, I want to sell that because I want some money. And so he sold it for $30 at the garage sale. Now, I'll show you the comps just for the remote, but I paid $10 for this. So it came with the battery pack, cover, the remote. It didn't have there was like a stone or something, ball that this thing came with. Didn't have that, but I've got it's a rechargeable battery pack. I don't have the charger, but I've got a rig over there. I'll show you that I'm trying to charge this battery, so hopefully I don't blow the place up. That's what the beeping was. So I think it's finished charging. We'll see if it actually worked. But we'll hook this up after we get done here and see what happens. So this battery pack is a 9.6 volt nickel metal battery pack, and I don't have the charger for it, so I pulled out my trusty battery charger, set it up for nickel metal. I just put it on 2 amps, and because it's a 1300 milliamp battery, so we're gonna try 2 amps. And I found enough test leads to make all the careful connections and in there. So we'll just let this run for a while and see what happens. I'll at least try and get some juice on it so I can at least test the dinosaur. But really weird that I didn't think about that. I thought it was just regular old batteries inside. So once I get this done, we'll be able to do that test. This may end up being wrapped up under the Christmas tree, just because I've looked for one of these darn things for so long, and 15 minutes after leaving the store, coming back, there it was on the shelf. So I carried this around after I found it. Wasn't about to let anyone else grab it. So we'll see how that goes. Worst case, I got to rig up a new battery system for it, but that's fine too. So as I'm carrying that darn thing around, I went back, did my loop, just double checked, make sure I didn't see anything else. But I did find this, you'll recognize the name probably, a Barago brand die-cast car. This is a Porsche 911 Carrera. I think it says 1993. I don't know if it's a 1993 Carrera or this was made in 1993. Maybe I can comp this a little better. But I paid $6 for this. I actually saw this in the store the other day and I didn't buy anything, and so I didn't want to just buy this. So I put it back on the shelf, but I found it again today, and since I was getting some other stuff, really nice condition. I've sold other Baraga Ferraris actually. Really nice condition, and this one's nothing obviously broken on it. The decals look pretty good, so I should be able to make at least turn my $6 investment probably into 20, 25 maybe. So that was good. So as I'm carting the car and now the dinosaur around the store, I did one last loop through the toy aisle, and I saw this. I got a question for you on this, but I saw this Road Rage Racer, and at first I thought it was just one of those, cheap Chinese things, but I turned it around and I saw Gemmy.com, and Gemmy I recognized because I also have this Gemmy car here, which this is Gemmy Industries Corp. This is kind of a cool car, pretty valuable. I also probably paid similar $5 or $6 for this. So I recognized the brand, so it was worth checking, and I'll show you the comps. But my question to you is, what do you do in this situation? This is completely sealed, never been out of the packaging. The problem is it says try me, hit the ignition, shift into gear for great sounds. Now obviously you're not hearing anything. On the bottom it tells you that it includes batteries and how to load them, but clearly they're inside here. If you're able to do this with it in the package to try it, they're already in there. So it's sealed up, taped, wired to the packaging. What do you do in this situation? Do you just take it all apart and unseal it? Or do you sell it as is and say, hey, there's batteries in there, they might be corroded? I gotta figure out what to do on this. How it affects the sell rate or the sell amount. I don't really want to ship that with rotted batteries in it, but it's nice that it's sealed. So I got to deal with that. But overall, really good. Sorry, that was my GoPro dying over here. By GoPro. Really nice finds. It was fun to try a three trip day to my Goodwill. So let me know if you ever do that. I mean, I'm sure there are guys that do that are doing this full time. You gotta hit the thrifts as many times as you can to get the stuff. So I understand that, but out of the normal for me. But I just want to say thank you again for everyone that watches these videos. I work on the value for value model, so you watching gives me value, and hopefully what I'm giving you is valuable in return. I do appreciate that you like these videos and send comments, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. That really helps me. But just as I always say, come join me again next time. Okay, let's go see what this battery's doing.